It was in 2014 that was the time of opening of the first state of self-realization, enlightenment, we may say. And very beautifully, 10 years later, in 2024, it is where many important events have happened, occurred. It is the time, 2024, the year when the new lineage, the Divine Marga, divine lineage was brought into the world. It happened by abiding within the true region, the divine regions. And this is where I encountered many divine beings who have rejoiced not only my return as a soul, complete liberation back into the divine, the true home, but also very speedily during that year of 2024 is where my soul and spirit had attained mastery of the 6 divine regions, all the way to the top in multiple lineages. My native original lineage was associated with the path of Sai Baba of Shirdi, Upasani Maharaj, Hazur Baba Jan, and the culmination recently with the Avatar Meher Baba. And last year we went to India and we visited the Samadhi ashrams of these great, great divine beings. It is before physically visiting the actual physical abodes of these great sages that my soul has traversed that path in its entirety. And it was a beautiful time, as there is a saying, as above, so below, where everything came together. In parallel, since in the divine there is no time, no space, and no creation, another interesting development was unfolding with the divine light and sound stream, where I had a big reverence, a very heartful connection with the path of the masters, or the lineage known as Sant Mat, which is another divine lineage of many great Satgurus. And a few years back, I started to connect with the Sadgurus of that lineage. It was revealed to me. And I looked at the present lineage holders, which are a few Sadgurus, but I felt no resonance with the present ones. And as I looked deeper into the lineage, one of the great figures of Path of the Masters was very recently Sant Kirpal Singh. And during my meditation, I encountered him. We met and had a conversation on the inner planes. And to my surprise, he said, "It is not me who can help you." Now, this is very rare because typically when you do meet someone on the inner planes, it is already a great blessing. So that was an unusual encounter which propelled me to look deeper. So okay, who is it, the one on this lineage that I do need to meet then? The next question arose. And as I found the teacher of Sant Kirpal Singh, so his own Satguru, the one who was before him and who initiated him and handed over the lineage. So the name is Hazur Baba Sawan Singh, the one before Sant Kirpal Singh. And meeting him on the inner planes, it was a divine meeting and a blessing. We may say the blessing of the Sant Mat lineage that occurred, having a beautiful relationship with Hazur Baba Sawan Singh. A good time has passed of many months or even a year. I had another inner encounter meeting again Sant Kirpal Singh, the one who said that he cannot help me. So I met again with Sant Kirpal Singh, and it was to my surprise. Why did we meet? Because before he said that it's not him who can give this blessing of this lineage. So when we met, he showed me a big board, like a blackboard. And there he had listed 3 names, and there was my name. He said, "You are one of those 3 most advanced beings on this lineage, on this path." And it was a beautiful confirmation that he kept track. He knows what's happening on the inner planes. He knows who is advancing very well. So in 2024, I have completed also the path of Sant Mat to the very top of the highest region. And another beautiful story goes even further back of finding the Grand Master of this lineage, of the path of the masters. So the great Sadguru, Hazur Baba Sawan Singh, in his writings, he has a story of how he became interested in the path of the masters. So when he was young, he was reading Bhagavad Gita, he was interested in many other paths and lineages, and he was looking for his Sadguru. He was looking for his path. And he got to know that there is this sage who came to town, and his friend recommended him to visit a satsang and meet him. So Sawan Singh, he went to a satsang, and he stayed for 1 or 2 satsang, and he started asking questions to that Sadguru. And an important event happened where the one who was giving the satsang, he said, if you want to really know what the path of the masters is all about, you should read a book by Kabir called the Anurag Sagar. And Sawan Singh said, okay, I'm going to get this book. So he ordered a few copies. I believe it was 8 copies for himself and his friends, and started reading this book. And as he was reading this book, he became totally convinced that he has to join the path of the masters, the Sant Mat, to be initiated in that lineage and to take a Sadguru for himself who was giving the satsang. So the very origins of the path of the masters trace all the way back to the Sant Kabir Das. He is not only the Grand Master or Adi Sadguru of that particular path of Sant Mat, but also it is known that Sant Kabir Das has initiated Guru Nanak, who has established the Sikh religion, which is one of the biggest religions in the world. Also has established his own path called Kabir Panth. Again, it was 2024 where a complete meeting with the Sant Kabir Das and revelation of who he truly is. In my book, there is a whole chapter dedicated to Sant Kabir Das as the very first, the primal Satguru in the world. Not in this age, not in current times, in the world, in the whole history of the world, actually in all four yugas. So Kabir is his name and his recent descent to earth in the 15th century. But he also came in the previous age and actually in all four yugas, starting with Satyuga, where people used to live about 1,000,000 years. It was a completely different race of humanity. In that age, he was known as Gyani. And the story goes way, way back, actually, before creation of the whole universe that we live in, before creation of any universes. Sant Kabir Das was one of the primordial beings who came from the source itself, from the Satpurush, from the true God Supreme. And this is very important because everything comes to explain how this book came to be. So when our universe was created, which was way before 14 billion years ago, before the physical universe came into existence, it was formed on the higher planes of existence, Brahmanda, and it was already started to get populated with souls. The universe, our universe, the ruler of our universe, the creator is Lord Brahm with Adya or goddess Durga. And this is the oldest story ever known in existence, is that souls already started to populate this universe in Brahmanda and then in Anda and finally in Pinda, the biophysical universe that we know of, which is around 14 billion years old. So at that time, Kabir, or more of his true name, Gyani, saw that the souls are not going back home. How come? And he found out that Lord Brahm doesn't want the souls to come back home. He wants them to stay, or in other words, to keep them trapped. This is where Gyani has brought the means for the souls to go back home, which is the divine light and sound stream. So he was the very first, before even Shiva was born and Brahman and Vishnu. Gyani already knew Lord Brahm. And thus, when the creation took place, when he saw what's going on, he brought the gift for the souls, the divine light sound stream, so that the souls can have a tool, a way to go back home to the divine. At Divine Marga, we have received a divine gift, which is, we call it the Maha Mantra, which when used specifically can open the divine abode for the soul. And there are specific mantras to align you with the divine light and sound stream. So coming all together is our divine friendship and the grace and blessing of the primal Adi Sadguru, Sant Kabir Das, who has blessed us to bring this divine lineage to humanity. At the same time, I'm speaking of 2024, what was happening before already, but since there is no really time and space, there has so many things been going on above that essentially the only simple way I can tell you is like downloads of and vast experiences and what is in the divine, what's happening there.